You hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I hear you too. Dude, I appreciate you joining. This wasn't how I was gonna start, but I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think I've ever seen this type of pushback from a guest announcement that I have from you. And honestly, I'm not super familiar with you. I know your Twitter account. I like your charts. I think you make interesting posts in the market. So I invited you to come on. I announced it, and there's this like crazy pushback. I mean, what's going on? What's going on?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's Twitter. It's always exciting. Um, I can, I'll do a whole like analysis of the tweet, but a long story short, I had posted some gains that a lot of people didn't believe. And this goes way back to even with Kobe.
Okay.
Kobe even ended up vouching for me and apologizing because he called me out, which is again totally fine.
So Kobe
Everyone
called you
posts,
out?
yeah,
Okay.
this was 3 years ago. He called me out. He's like, no, I don't believe those gains. I'm like, all right, that's fair. Um, I got to remember the guy, but one of his close people went then and verified my wallets. He's like, okay, it is legit. Kobe later the next day went on stream and said, yeah, it was legit, like my bad kind of thing. I mean, this was like 4 years ago, but of course, once Twitter it's
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
somebody says X, Y, and Z is a scammer. Sure, he's a scammer. He'll always be a scammer. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of funny
How
to start it off.
how big were the gains?
I think I'd ran like 5,000 into like 200,000 in like a month, maybe a little bit over that. And this was back when it was just like,
Mhm.
I mean, it was a good run. Like that was just trading microcaps, doing all that kind of stuff. And my rule with them is like, I always question anything anybody says online. Like, there's no issue if people call me out, but it's just funny. I like prove that it was real. And then they're still like, well, I don't know. But yeah, it's
So
just that, I mean, it could have even been 4 years ago, maybe even more.
okay, and so the only because the one thing I was confused about because I'm like sitting here like, should I cancel it? Should I not? The one thing I was confused about is no one had. I like to have receipts for this stuff, and I don't like to do gotcha
Well,
streams.
I'll get you receipts.
But
I'll get you receipts. It's pretty good.
yeah, I just even meant from the other side on sort of the call
Oh, yeah.
allegations. Um, is the main sort of more ethics in question here is that you allegedly lied about a P&L screenshot. You were called out by Kobe. Kobe's guys went through, DD'd it, and then he cleared your name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another drama. Again, I can be a little vocal, maybe a little negative on Twitter because again, I do call out a lot of scammers. I do get pushback on that. But I remember when Femex, which is a leveraged trading exchange, when they had first launched, I was saying, hey, this actually looks legit. I used it. I like it. I know Gainsey was a big Bybit referral guy. He started questioning it. Says, no, that's a scam. They're faking volume, blah, blah, blah. I kind of said, I defended them. I was like, no, it's legit. Their numbers are legit. Same thing. He goes on, blocks me, goes on a couple of days of just calling me a scammer, trying to find anything that makes me look bad. Like one of those typical things. Like once you find an enemy in the space, you just kind of, I don't know, you just find reasons to be pissed at them. And then that's like another drama. And that was 3, 4 years ago. Same kind of thing. But I just know it's like I'm the guy that's just posting free charts, helping people trade, just giving back to the community. I'm not asking for anything in return. Don't do paid deals. I don't even push affiliate links. Like I'm just out here sharing stuff. So like for me, I don't mind being called a scammer because I'm just like there's never receipts. There's never people actually saying why. It's just like, oh, I heard once he was called a scammer. They never look into like why.
What happened to the exchange that you were promoting that Gainsey didn't like?
But it's one of the top exchanges. There's nothing. I still use it. Everyone still uses it. Like it's a big exchange. Um, yeah,
What?
people can look like Femex is still up there. Like it's billions in volume and everything. Like it's not. I mean,
What?
to me, I assume it's still as big as like Bybit. Probably maybe a little less numbers, but it's still right up there.
Word.
The same thing. Nothing that makes me a scammer for just talking about like another exchange. Like that's the funniest part is I think people disagree in the space and automatically you're either like a scammer or there's bad intentions. And like for me, I'm just like, hey, if we disagree. Like I disagree with a lot of people. Like that's just it's okay to have opinions, but to make someone just I don't know to label a scam or not verify is something that is kind of annoying in the space on the other end.
Word. Okay, so the exchange never like blew up or anything on a referral you were shilling. Like, that
No,
wasn't the pushback.
no, and again, I don't know why that makes me a scammer. Just be like, no, like, hey, I think they're legit. They are legit.
I've never
Like
heard of it, but
that's and that's fair. I mean, that's again, this is stuff 4 or 5 years ago. Like a lot changes in the space, so it's just kind of funny that I think there's just been that core group of people that do not like my opinions on things, and you just kind of, I mean, they all block me. Like, when would they've ever seen what I've done the past 4 or 5 years? Um,
word.
yeah, I mean, that's that. And again, I'm happy to drop receipts on the other end. I haven't looked back in that in a long time, but it's kind of funny just to have that get pulled back up minutes before a show.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. Okay,
No.
the last thing, and I want to talk about the market is there's a couple people
Yeah.
that are like really upset about some group that you run. What is that?
Okay, so same thing again, going way back. I did have a little paid group for a while. Ran it, just wasn't really my thing, but I honored everyone that had like a lifetime membership. But the issue was, and again, I don't know if you knew, but my account was hacked through a SIM swap like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then of course they took over Discord, they took over everything, kind of blew up all my socials, hacked it. I was able to finally get it back, but it took like a month, like just an absolute pain and nightmare. And then part of that, a lot of people got kicked out of the Discord, and then I immediately like put it back together, try to invite everyone back. But of course, there's always people that miss when I did that. They're gone on, like, they came back to the market 6 months later, like, whoa, where's this group? People think I abandoned them. I haven't. They're still the same group. I've still honored every commitment. Again, another kind of FUD where people like, and again, I have thousands of messages. Like, I've missed people saying like, hey, is there still a group? Hey, how do I get back in? Like, that's not me ignoring you. It takes forever to go through like messages. So I think that's another one. And as soon as I reach out to these people that tag me, I try to find them. They're like, oh, so like, my bad. Like, I didn't know you had the group. Like, I thought you just abandoned us. I was like, no, I got hacked, had to start something new. And then same thing. So
Okay, so you honored the people that were in the paid group though.
yeah. And again, it's like I've got 95% back to normal. And there's just that 5% that have, I don't know, they just get pissed. I don't respond to messages. And it's, again, it's easy to just go play into the FUD and be like, oh, he scammed, he left, he abandoned us, which again, just is not the case.
Okay, then I guess my last question is like, is there anything else that worthy on the sort of allegations side? Is there anything else that's like important to address here we should cover that you want to cover?
No, I mean, again, these are just kind of funny allegations. Like I said, even if you think those are all legit, think everything. It's like everything I've done the past 2 or 3 years, free content, everything's free, everything's out there. I share my thoughts. Like, it's stuff I don't have to do, but enough people seem to enjoy it where I'm like, yeah, I enjoy sharing. I enjoy giving back. Like, this is kind of gone from like trading to retirement to now this is just kind of my passion. So I do enjoy engaging with people. So it's just like, if they want to call me scammers and it makes them feel better, I don't care. Like, enough people enjoy the content. Like, I'm not going to do this forever, but I do just enjoy sharing all my thoughts for free.
Cool. Well, thanks for covering all that. I didn't bring you here for a gotcha stream. I brought you here because I was interested in the market. So let's talk about the market. I mean, do you want to start with now that part is aside? Do you want to start with a little bit of like your lore, how long you've been in crypto, and like what you focus on?
Yeah, I can do a quick little recap, but yeah, I think I got into crypto about 2015. Ethereum wasn't a thing. There was like, I don't know, like 8, 9 coins. Like, even kind of my lures in my one of my trading view charts. One of my first things I charted was a coin called Feather Coin,
Hmm.
which was like a top 10 coin. I mean, the market cap of Bitcoin was nothing. It was, man, I think about $100. And it's funny looking back at $100. I was like, wow, Bitcoin's overpriced. It's like, what a bubble kind of thing, like the
Yeah.
classic cycle. But yeah, I was kind of playing around with that. Got into that. Didn't have very much money in my name. I'm like, hey, let me try this Bitcoin thing. And then Ethereum shows up. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. This is going to be the big winner. Missed out on the ICO. Waited for a pullback. Was able to get in, I think, as low as like $10. And then just from there, just started getting hooked to crypto, finding new projects. This was definitely the tech era where like tech mattered. Meme coins didn't exist. There wasn't Dogecoin. There was nothing, or maybe Dogecoin was, but it was just kind of cool. Like, everyone was trying to compete. Like, who is going to be the next Bitcoin? Like, who has the best code, the fastest transaction, and that's kind of where I've started. And it was just so addicting to keep watching these devs battle and compete and the price swings and seeing the whole world hate this. And that's the thing that's funny now is like telling people like, oh, what do you do? It's like I trade Bitcoin. Everyone's like, what? But now it's kind of like, oh, I know about it. Maybe they haven't traded, but it is just so cool. Like as a community, we'd all stick together. It was always us versus them. And again, even looking at the drama today, it's just funny. Like now we're so like cannibalized where we do attack each other. We're all still on the same team, but it's just there's so many projects, chains, ways to trade that I feel like our community is kind of a mess, even though it's gotten so much bigger.
Yeah, CT is always in a weird spot, especially this cycle. It feels like nobody holds the good coins, and it leads to
No.
this level of animosity. Okay, so talking about the market right now, thanks for some lore. We'll maybe start here and work backwards a little bit. What do you think was responsible for the like liquidation cascade today in Bitcoin? It's kind of the market wide dump after a crazy day yesterday.
I mean, again, just with anything, it goes up 9 days in a row. You're going to get a 1 day pullback. We had PPI, which is the inflation. That's a little bit more important than CPI inflation report. That kind of gets stock market to freak out a little bit. They wanted Fed cuts. Now that kind of makes it a little dicey. And then, as usual, crypto's always kind of like the punching bag, I say, where it's just if there's good news in stock, cryptos go up. But if there's bad news in stock, crypto goes down. But sometimes stock still goes up. But it's especially now that like the markets are closed, it's one of those things you see a little bit of fear in the markets again, and then crypto is obviously the most dramatic market out there. Like the slightest breeze goes wrong, people panic, people buy it. Like it is just a funny environment versus like the stock market where they get over the like stock market probably goes back up tomorrow. They get over the inflation report. And now crypto is going to be talking about the top the rest of the week, even though by the end of the week we probably rebound. The weekend comes along and then we're pushing back to all time highs and everyone's making fun of people who panic sold and just kind of that continuous cycle.
Why is it that that happens where there's like bad news in macro, equities are flat, and then crypto's down, Bitcoin's down 7%, Sol's down 10%? Like,
Right.
why does it work like that?
So at least for me, a lot of times, and it not conspiracy, but it's just funny, like the timing of events that get dropped in the stock market. Like there is, especially with the tariffs, it would be like 5 minutes right before the market closes. Boom, they drop tariff news. The stock market is closed. No one can sell. Crypto just drops 7%. They panic. They sell. It's the punching bag for after hours. If any move happens, they're like, "Oh, let's make it happen in crypto." And it's nice to now see crypto catch up, but it was that annoying thing for a while where you would have, like you said, it just like stocks would go up, crypto would go down, stocks go down, crypto would really go down, stocks would be flat, crypto would really go down. Like there was just nothing it could do. Um, Especially with the markets being open on holidays, weekends, it is just such an excuse where I think going back, there was like that Moody's report where they downgraded the US to like from a AAA to AA happens right after market close and all weekend stock market or crypto just bloodbath. And then everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be a terrible bloodbath Monday. By the time that news digests, everyone's like, yeah, not a big deal. Monday, stocks go up. And it's just like so funny that crypto just can never catch a break. And even now we're kind of getting that momentum. We're seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum, but now everyone owns every other asset except Bitcoin and Ethereum. And now people are still pissed. So it's this awkward phase of stocks just keep making millionaires and now crypto is just being crypto again.
It's kind of a weird feeling where it feels like crypto is always going down, but then you look up at Bitcoin, just made an all-time high yesterday. Is it?
Yeah.
Why does it feel like that?
Obviously, first of all, it's the exposure. Back when we only held Bitcoin, I mean, every green candle we would just cheer, and every red one we would rally together. Kind of like the GameStop movement, where dips they would rally together. We don't see that kind of rally because people aren't exposed. Even if you bought at 100,000, even if you're up like 2x, you're still like, well, that's not that exciting, especially if you only have a few $1,000s. You're
Yeah.
not thrilled. Like nothing about the moves are exciting. But if you did invest 2,000, you only have 2,000. Bitcoin goes up, you kind of get excited. That dip feels a lot more painful because you're like, well, I only have 2,000. I can't afford to lose my last 2,000 on dips. Versus when the markets were just so euphoric before, every move like you would laugh at the dip. Like, cool, I made 500,000 today. The next day, you're like, oh, lost 100,000, and you kind of see with the stock market. Some of these guys, they're almost flexing their losses because they're like, I never thought I could stomach losing a couple 100,000 a day. But with crypto now, you're like, I can't afford to lose 1%. Like the dip is terrifying for people because they just don't quite have the capital that they would have had in previous bull markets.
What is your trading style? Like, how do you make money in crypto?
Um, I go for mostly counter trade sentiment, and again the cliche, but I buy low, sell high. I will hunt for the charts that are very low, very boring. Everyone hates them, and then you just sit in them and you wait, and then you see the excitement come back, and then usually by the time Twitter's talking about it, I'm exiting, and I do historically, which still has worked. I'm very early to coins and also very early to exit. For like Robinhood, I'm in at $9. I make a ton of money. I'm out at 45. Now it's up to 100. Even like the Bitcoin rally, I sat dollar cost averaging that thing down from like 30,000, 20, 50, and I'm just so heavy in it that by the time Bitcoin rallied to 40,000, I'm like, hey, I got my 2.5x. I'm done. I made a ton of money. I'm good. And then again, I still get roasted for it. Fine. But that's how I then got into Robinhood at $9, run that up. So like for me, I do like to be really early. I'm first in line in the party. I don't even know if the party's going to work. And if it doesn't, I usually don't lose a lot because I'm like, hey, the price is still flat. So that's kind of been my strategies. I do really hunt for the stuff where I look at the chart and you're like, why is that not higher? Like that should be an all-time high and it's just terrible. And I think for me, it's really helped the emotions to like find those charts where it looks so bad, like you don't even want to touch it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my pick. Like that's the one I'm going to commit to. And assuming you do see the right things start to play out, then I do really hold that, and then you're able to kind of exit before the euphoria and kind of top signals come in.
Like ETH when it went back to 1,500 a couple months ago.
Yep. Again, if I had more money to throw in there, I would have. But it was just so painful to watch that, and like I feel the pain. Like I wanted to sell on 1,500. Like I wanted to be done, but I'm like, that's when you double down. Like that's when you push hardest, and it is so hard to do. And I've done it for 10 years. It is still difficult. Like usually that's why people joke. Like when they go small size in a position, that's the one that they get the 10x. They go heavy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they lose 30%.
What's been your worst unrealized P&L from selling too early?
Dogecoin. That one be worth billions. I mean, it was back before it was not even on exchanges. I was stoked. Same thing. I think I got like a 5x, and back then when I only had a couple thousand, I think I made like 10. I was thrilled. I'm like, I'm gonna buy a car. I mean, just like you see everyone else, you're so excited. You're like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be rich. And then it's funny. You look back, you're like, oh yeah, if I just had bought that and just disappeared in the mountains for 5, 10 years, you'd be a billionaire. Like it's just all those coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But that's just the thing that people they love to be like, oh, if I had held this, it's like, okay, obviously you didn't, but even if you had waited longer, the next month you would have sold, the next month you would have sold. Like, there's a reason no one is like a very few are Bitcoin billionaires, minus like the Satoshi wallets or some of those like Michael Saylors, is because unless you forgot about a wallet or you got locked out, like you're not holding this 10-year cycle. Like that is insane to just see every day millions, then billions, and just sit there and be like, no, I'll wait, no, I'll wait. Like that's just it eats you. Like that's insane that anyone and props to people that can. Like even for me, like a year seems like eternity to hold something.
Billions is a crazy, that's a crazy answer.
Yeah.
You said earlier when I asked you what your trading style was, is you like to counter trade sentiment.
Oh yeah.
How valuable actually is the sentiment of crypto Twitter specifically on coins?
So I would say kind of before Elon tweaked the algo, it was flawless. I could just look at the timeline and every single account, I'm like euphoric, 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 euphoric. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna open up a short. Feels like the stupidest trade. Next day, markets are red. And I'm like, okay, are people panic selling or are they just like, oh, let's buy the dip? Next day, everyone's like, oh, this is an easy dip buy, easy dip buy. I'm like, all right, hold the shorts. And obviously, nothing's going to be perfect, but there is definitely that. Like, I feel like how they're feeling, but I kind of know I have to be kind of one step ahead. So, like today, I feel good to see a lot of people panic because I'm like, hey, that's probably not that big of a deal because in reality, you zoom out, it's a little dip. But once I start seeing everyone buying the dip, everyone's flexing their gains, everyone's looking like a bull market, then that's probably when I'm going to start pulling out more.
You played the Bitcoin chart you drew was really pretty.
Oh, the squiggles.
Yeah, most recently. What are you like?
Yeah.
How are you positioned right now?
I'm on kind of like just kind of wealth preservation mode. So for me, it's just like Ethereum's kind of my last little bit of chunk. Once that's kind of done,
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to just strictly like education on Twitter, see how long I last. But then yeah, most of it's just it's really boring stuff, ETF stocks, because I've done the hard part. I've stayed in the casino. I've already round trip multiple cycles. I've done the motion. Like
Yeah.
I'm at the ending credits. I'm just like, hey, don't be stupid and give everything back. So I've been very strategic about like finding every investment, everything that I can, no matter what happens. If crypto goes zero, stop. Like I want to be positioned that I never have to like enter the trenches, do the whole thing again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my positions obviously is going to be a little different. I've been around the space for a long time, but yeah, for me, I'm just kind of like waiting for the last little bull run with Ethereum, and then just kind of being done.
I like the squiggles. I like the charts. That's why I wanted to bring you on in the first place. What's your rationale behind posting? So I think you basically like only tweet charts. Like, what's the rationale behind posting so many charts on Twitter?
Because I mean, the reality is like it's easy to flex the wealth, the gains, all the entertainment, but at the end of the day, like to get to that level, you have to take a trade, you have to position yourself, and you have to know kind of what's happening with the market. So for me, it's like I'm sharing charts because that will actually help people make money or actually give people kind of a reason to hold. So for people, again, it's very easy to panic if they're seeing me keep posting Ethereum, keep posting like an upward arrow. I'm showing why it's bullish, why it's bullish. That's going to help a lot of people hold when normally they would have sold. Versus if I just kind of catered to like the Twitter entertainment, which again is very entertaining. I follow a lot of entertaining accounts. There's just no value in it. Like, yeah, you can laugh together, but if Twitter's making a funny meme that I think's funny, showing that Ethereum's going to zero, you're probably going to panic sell because you see that. You're like, oh, I kind of agree with that. Versus the boring charts, you try to take emotions out of it. Again, TA is never 100%, obviously, but it kind of just gives you like, hey, here's a plan. Here's what I think's going to happen. If it doesn't, here's what I do. If it does, like, great. So I think for me, it's like if you can make trading boring, you can actually be profitable. You make it exciting and fun. Casino, yeah, you might even make 1 million in a month, but then the next month you're back to zero, and you're like, wow, that was a waste of time.
I like that if you could make trading boring. I think that's like an important one liner. Because it isn't always. I read the I'm big into the Market Wizards books, and I've been reading the fuck out of those. And there was this one quote which is like, "The real trading is the time in what you do in between trades." So based.
Yes, no, and it is so hard. Like I said, I could go back to taking one trade a year and I'd outperform everything I've done if I
Yeah.
just picked that one good trade. And it is so hard because why? Everywhere you look, you're going to see opportunity. You're going to see people talking about things like you want to be involved. But yeah, the reality is like get into trade and then find a hobby for a year, walk away, or like just find something to do in between and look at boring charts. Go read a book. Go just do boring things. Like don't make trading this casino because you'll never want to leave. You'll
Yeah.
overtrade. Yeah.
How will we know when this cycle has actually topped?
We won't know until like 6 months past when it's top. But I'm again my rule of thumb for the past 10 years. I want to wait to see people just absolutely go wild on the timeline. I want to see the new cars. I want to see people just actually having wealth this time, and I still don't think we're there, and that's why I still think it can keep going higher. Um, the treasury companies do really feel like a bubble, but part of these bubbles is they can get really big before they kind of pop. It is just strange to see finally Bitcoin and Ethereum doing well, and it's because of the stock market, them kind of using our market to then benefit themselves. So for me, for me, a top was like, oh wow, these treasury companies are going under. Michael Saylor's like having to liquidate, like just that feeling where you're like, oh no, like this feels like it's over. But for me, I'm still leaning towards 2026. I always do sell early, so if I'm telling people
Six.
like once I'm out, you probably still have a good 3 to 6 months of trading to make money.
When we look back after it has topped and Bitcoin's minus 60%, what do you think we'll see as, yeah, that was the obvious signal? Was it the treasury companies beginning to blow up? Like, what do you think it will be?
Yeah, I would think it's kind of the treasury, or just again the economy. Same thing. Wait, if we do get some sort of actual recession, we're going to be like, oh yeah, that was an obvious top. Like people can't even afford groceries, people can't afford rent, but everyone thought they could be millionaires on crypto. Like how is that? How did people not sell? Like how obvious was it? Like no one had money. These bubbles in pocket. Like there's only like 10 stocks in the market that are carrying the S&P 500. Like how like even for me, I almost feel like every day almost could be a top, but that's kind of why I don't feel like it is a top. Like it'd be too easy. Everyone's too risk adverse. People are hedging. People are being too cautious. Like that. a drop almost makes people excited. The housing market crash almost makes people excited to buy. So it is just this really awkward time we are in, and hence why it doesn't really feel like a bull market. People aren't really making money like they normally would in cycles. So yeah, I think just for the top, it'll just finally look like crypto's the future. Everyone's like, wow, this is the US is the leading global. The president's old crypto. It's just gonna look like this crypto world. And then that's gonna be like, oh boy, here's probably the top.
Dude, I saw this. I don't really pay attention to equities like I should, but I'm gonna misquote this tweet, but it basically was showing over two overlaid charts, and it was the S&P 500 versus the S&P 600. And to your point of there's like 10 stocks that are like carrying this whole thing, and the S&P 600 looks so fucking terrible compared to the
Yeah,
500, and then you realize like,
I
wow,
think I've seen that. Yeah.
everything's just like propped up on like a couple companies that are giga outperforming in this, AI tech bubble.
Yeah. I mean, look at like the Nvidia pullback, that 30% correction we had in the stock market. Everyone's like, oh, how obvious was that? We had Nvidia carrying the whole stock market. We saw the tariff thing. We're like, oh, such an obvious bubble. And then boom, we run it back and everyone's like, oh, I guess not. Or it's like, it's I've never seen so many people hedged for bubbles, which just makes this bubble get bigger and bigger. Like you really need to see that shift where like you almost need when the markets actually look optimistic, people are happy. Like unfortunately that's gonna be the I think just the top. It is just like I don't know. Every day feels like a top when it's not. So it's just this. Yeah, equities are just bizarre. It's the Mag 7, the Mag 10. It's just there's not a lot there, but it just seems like it's the market's doing so well.
Okay, you might disagree with this. So if you do disagree, then answer it differently. But why does it feel like nobody in crypto has made any money, and the people that have just given it all back? 2021 cycle, which was my first, it did not feel like that. It felt like everyone was fucking rich on CT, and the vibe around 2025 is just not that.
Yeah, and because people, I think in 2021, like again, it's like oh no, we had COVID. Then all of a sudden everyone kind of goes starts working from home, and everyone is like trading. All of a sudden it's like there wasn't a top. Like no one was even thinking of top. We're like, oh my god, this is a crazy rally. People didn't want to sell because you were punished if you sold. If you sold Bitcoin, it pumped 20% the next day. If you sold Ethereum, kept going. Like everything was getting hot, and no one we didn't really have a reason for a top. It's like, oh my god, this is the future. Crypto will be bigger. But now we've seen that top. We've seen other tops. People know about tops. Everyone's worried about a top. Like you just can't the second things start running, people take profits because everyone is so afraid of down tripping again. Everyone's so afraid of doing things. And it makes sense because people made so much money. They were millionaires last cycle. Now they're debating if they have to go back to work. Like it is such a different shift. So why would you take that risk again? Why would you hold it, make millions, and not take profit? So I think there's just I hate to say it, like people are being too smart, which is great for them, but terrible for the markets. We need absolute idiots. We need degens. Like we need it so stupid in the right way to like fully like I want people to believe $1 million could happen tomorrow with Bitcoin. That every meme is going to be $1 trillion, kind of like the Maraud's, where he's just like he believes it, but it's hard for him to convince the entire space that memes could go to trillions.
On the topic of we need people to be so stupid and bullish and delusional, which I think is correct because that was what 2021 was. There was a new game, it was NFTs, people were mesmerized, like, oh my god, ETH, ultrasound money, world computer. There's this framing that gets tossed around CT a lot, which is like nobody has any coins, nobody has any spot BTC, therefore you're not bullish enough. Is that framing actually correct? Where if no one has coins, you should be bullish because they're potential buyers, or is it backwards and it's like nobody has coins because nobody actually believes, therefore we will not hit the snowball effect strong enough for them all to spiral in, you should be bearish. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like this. The second half I think is spot on. Like when everyone is part of something and they're all making money, like that community is so strong. But when everyone misses out on the boat, there's just not you don't have that willpower. We don't have that same unified support. We don't have the rally. We don't have the momentum. We don't have the delusional. Like people want to see others win money, and if no one's making money in Bitcoin and no one's making money on Ethereum, everyone's just like they're like, well, maybe my like everyone is just trying to find a coin that can get the whole space together. But now there's 20, 30 million coins. It's diluted. It is just there's 1,000 parties and no one knows what's the fun one versus it used to be one or two. You could rally off those parties, split it up, and you just had, yeah, you had the euphoria, like it was fun. But now it's just like they're hitting all-time highs, but no one's celebrating. I'm not seeing the Bitcoin screenshots, the Ethereum screenshots. It's just not fun. So people are kind of demotivated. Like I get it. Like it's not a traditional bull market in that sense.
I want some fucking P&L cards, man, is what I want to see on the timeline. I
I
get
do.
okay.
And
Go ahead.
But I was just saying, like, I like, in a good way, I want to go back to being, because I like to, again, every tweet I do is from a mistake I've made. So people think I'm harsh or think I'm being rude. I'm like, no, I don't want you to round trip the million. I don't want you to gamble your money to zero. Like, I've done all those things. So for me, it's like, I want to see the PNL card, but I also then want to see you realize it. So it is tough for me because I want to see everyone, I want everyone to go back to hating me for being the guy saying, hey, take profits. Like, I want them to be like, shut up. Like, I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
now it's fun again. Like, I want to be the good, I want to be the bad guy in the best way possible to be like, all right, now that you're millionaires, like, come back to reality. I want people to tell me to, yeah, eat dirt. Like, I want them to be like, no, like, and that'll be the fun part again. So yeah, we want to see the P&L. That'll be, I think that really starts getting people excited again.
Okay, this is one of the last things I want to ask you is what was your make it trade? Like what was your biggest trade, most memorable trade in your crypto career?
Biggest or the one like the first make it
do both,
trade?
do both, do both.
I think the first one where I was like, hey, like I could do this with, or the one that really kind of ignited it, kickstarted, I think was Vertcoin. And that was the first one where it's like, here was a token that no one really knew about. It was ASIC resistant. It was against the Bitcoin miners. There was this really cool cult following of people. And that was the first time I'm like, wow, I'm riding up this token. I'm making a ton of money. Like, hey, crypto's for me. I was able to, like, kind of my first micro cap. I'm like, I love this. And that was just a really fun, successful. It was over 10x. I was just like, wow, like I've hit that. I think that's where I started getting some followers because people were like, whoa, this guy's fun. And some other coins besides the obvious Bitcoin, like maybe he's got some other cool things. So there's that one. And then I guess for the biggest trade, honestly, was just going so heavy in Bitcoin too much. I did over risk more, which I was really hated myself watching it going from 30 to 20 to 15,000. I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot. And when it did rally and then rolling that to hood, that was the largest money wise trade. Why I'm actually able to kind of just be officially done. Last bit of Ethereum. Once I'm done with that, I can then just kind of go back to education until I get called a scammer too many times, and then decide that crypto Twitter is enough for me.
Make it, come on the threadguy stream, get called a scammer, disappear, make it again, come on the threadguy stream, get called a scammer.
The 4-year cycle.
The 4-year cycle, just like Satoshi dreamed it up. Income Sharks, thanks for coming on, bro. This was sick. Anything you want to sign off with, or you wanted to talk about that I missed out, or you wanted to leave the audience with?
No, it's awesome to see you able to like talk, bring so many different voices on the podcast. And so I was just like, hey, I gotta do this. This is awesome. Like on my timeline, you've just blown up. Like you're everywhere. So
really?
Like,
you're seeing me on your timeline a lot?
Oh yeah. I think I even beefed with you a little bit because I think you were talking about selling your account. I was like, oh, there's no way he's getting off for 26 million.
Yeah.
But I love that you respond and you don't block me. You're like, you're an adult. Like you're like, okay, different opinion, whatever. And then a week later, like, hey, come on the show. Like that's what this space is about. Disagree with me, hate me, but next week I'll be best friends. Like nothing I do is deep. I don't hold grudges. I have 0 people blocked. Like nothing is deep on Twitter. Like let's all make money. Argue with me in the future because you're up millions and I'm telling you to take profit and tell me to fuck off. And just like keep it like that. Like let's make it good vibes again in that regard. So
thank you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Let me let me know when you sell so I can squeeze another 50-60% out of it.
Yeah. Don't sell with me. Just wait.
Hey, thank you, dude. I appreciate you coming on, man. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. Have a good one.
Peace.